Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. Let's talk about Alexis and Sean for a minute. So, they're at the police station. They're talking to Jordan and Laura. And, they're waiting their face about what's going to end up happening. Are they going to go back to Pentonville? What's going on? So, Alexis winds up going to a new jail. A more, cushier jail. Which, I'm just like, alright, so let me get this straight. This chick stabbed someone in a drunken rage, or a drugged out rage, whatever it is, and, she gets to go to, how do I phrase this without actually sounding super offensive? She pretty much gets to go to a damn country club. So, that's awesome. So, at this point, they're waiting to see what's going to wind up happening to Sean. But the good news is because of all the pressure and the press and stuff like that, and the governor and re-elections and all that other stuff, well, Sean is free. He's a free man. And honestly, to tell you the truth, I'm not going to lie, that was probably the best part of this episode, was finding out Sean is free. Now, the whole time on the other side of town, you got Molly and TJ, and they're celebrating, they're having dinner and stuff, and Nicholas decides to give him some champagne, is kind of just toasted up or whatever. So they're talking about Alexis, and, Nicholas is all concerned. Then they talk about Sean. And, they're like, well, we don't know which way Sean's case is going to go. He can either get out tomorrow, or, the system could take its time. It could be days, months, or even years. So the whole time, Nicholas is literally like sweating a little bit, like, well, I hope it's going to be years, because I can't get caught. I'm not catching that case, pretty much. That's the way Nicholas looked throughout that entire time. And since they were waiting for word, because they were getting updates, text or whatever, about Alexis and Sean, and since, they didn't get a text about Sean, they was like, well, I guess it didn't really go his way. And with that being said, Nicholas looked like he had a sigh of relief. So he was like, alright, listen, y'all go and do your thing. I'm just going to head out. And before he got a chance to walk on out, Sean walked on in there and was like, I'm a free man, and this is good, it's going to be a great day. And just looking at Nicholas' face was just priceless. Especially when Sean was like, listen, all that stuff sounds great, champagne, food, all that good stuff. But first, get justice from Hayden. I'm going to sit there and find out, who shot her. And with that being said, Nicholas is like, damn it. Because now, he's going to really have to sit there and do some plotting. I mean, this dude already was trying to find ways to keep him in there as long as possible. Now, he has some more work to do, pretty much. He just has a look on his face like he's screwed. And I'm just like, damn, man. Like, you're going to have this man in there in jail for years. And it's amazing, too, because Alexis and Laura Smith, they're talking about, Nicholas turning on a new leaf and being a better person and being a better man. I'm like, yep. Yeah, I have nothing. I was sitting there trying to think of a joke or some sort of sarcastic remark, and I have nothing. It's just Nicholas being a dick. So what else we got? You know what I didn't know? The girl who plays, Charlotte. The girl who plays Charlotte, in real life, she had a accident on her bike or whatever. Now she's starting to feel better and stuff. And I was wondering, why they didn't show her in a while? I mean, I know a lot has to do with COVID, but that's something else. But she's doing good, and she's going to be back on the mend soon, so hopefully she'll be back, she'll be back on the show. But let's talk about Liz and Finn. Liz out there having a good time, watching Violet play t-ball, and I'm just like, this seems non-productive at all. I mean, you guys had just been sitting on your ass, just hanging out, enjoying games with your daughter, and the whole time I'm just like, so what is your plan? What are you gonna do? I mean, the whole time they're talking, they're like, oh, Peter's body, and we can't really move him now, and what are we gonna do? And, they're talking about the possibility of going to jail, and who's gonna watch who. And I'm just like, what are you two idiots are gonna actually do about the goddamn body? It's been days, weeks. No, screw that. It's been weeks. I mean, I know he's on ice and stuff like that, but it's not like you're, at some point there's gonna be some sort of there's gonna be some sort of decomposition. I was trying to sit there and say it without sounding like an idiot, but at some point, this whole talk, and at some point they talk about Hayden Barnes, which I found hilarious. They're like, oh, we can't believe that Hayden Barnes is still on the run, and, she's been so long away from, her daughter and stuff. I'm like, yeah, Whenever I sit there and think about stuff like Hayden Barnes, and Holly, and Drew, and hopefully they're going to do something with Drew, when I think about Holly, and Claudette, remember Claudette? I'm just like, yeah, Hayden Barnes, what are they going to do about that? Now I know the actress, I think she's doing something else or whatever, but I'm just like, can't they just... Listen, I love the woman that plays Hayden Barnes, okay? It's great whenever I sit there and see her on screen. But with that being said, I feel like they kind of need to start wrapping up certain stories. Okay, I was sitting there talking about this in my day's review about Sarah being gone and Hope being gone, and I'm like, what are y'all doing? Hopefully they'll figure it out. But I mean, it's been months since we saw Holly being trapped in the boat. Yeah, I don't know when they're gonna get back to Hayden Barnes, but whatever. Anyway, they talk about it and they don't really come up with anything. So the only thing that really happens is, seeing Violet and stuff like that and enjoying time with her and watching her and, being there for her. They kind of realize that how important it is to not get caught by the cops. The problem is they haven't done a damn thing about the body. And they're sitting there trying to come up with ideas, and each person keeps shooting down the other person's idea. So it's like, no, we gonna come to a conclusion? No? We're gonna go a couple more weeks? Alright, great plan. Now in New York, I think they're in New York. They're still interrogating that pilot, Anna and Valentine. And you sit them down, and he starts to talk about, listen, if you don't talk, the cops are going to get you. Better talk to us than talk to the cops. Of course, they lied, and they wound up getting the cops anyway, but that's beside the point. So the pilot's like, listen, I never got a chance to get clearance or pick him up or anything like that, which I was glad about because of, me, aiding and abetting a criminal, but, I think the pilot was also like, they saw, he was like, oh yeah, and he was down there with some guy or whatever. And they started trying to get a description, and they talk about like the clothes and the hair and everything like that. And at this point, you can look at Anna's face, and Anna already knows. She has a pretty good idea of who that other person was that was on the roof. Of course, she didn't sit there and tell Valentine that, but, whatever. But I'm just like, damn, y'all going through this whole thing, and he's, missing time with his fake daughter or whatever, and his real daughter, sit there and help you out, to try to find Maxie's baby, and now you have an idea of who it could possibly be, and this is just my guess because of the look on her face, but you're not going to sit there and let him in on it. Because, why? I mean, you really feel like you're protecting Finn? Because eventually, he's not an idiot. He's going to figure it out. Whatever. But yeah, they feel like they're one step closer to finding Maxie's baby, which is unfortunate because, again, I sound like a broken record, but the story is broken. This whole Peter and Maxie story is broken, but whatever. What else we got? So, back at the pool scene again. I think they're going to be using this scene, well, this room for quite a while since, you know, the time and effort and money spent into building this new set. So, back at the pool scene, you know, Spencer shows up. And what I didn't realize is that technically Spencer and Jocelyn aren't actually related, like through blood. So, technically they can go out. I know it's weird because they're not technically related. They're not technically related, but like their families are so close together that it's somewhat like weird or whatever. But anyway, Spencer gets in there and he starts talking to Cam and Jocelyn for a little bit, just chatting it up or whatever about what they've been, you know, about what he's been up to as far as, you know, his travels and stuff like that. Now, Jocelyn throws him in the pool. When he gets out, Trina walks up. And, you know, Jocelyn's like, you know, I'd like you to sit there and meet Spencer. The look on Trina's face, you knew that she was about to give him hella smoke. Okay? I was just wondering how. Like, how she was going to wind up doing it. So, you know, Jocelyn's there talking about, you know, Spencer and this, that, and the third. And, you know, Trina's like, oh, really? Spencer? And so, you know, she's like being sarcastic and everything like that. And Trina and Spencer get to talking. And Trina is hella mad. She's like, why'd you lie about X, Y, and Z? Yada, yada, yada. And Spencer mixed some truths with some lies. You know, he basically was like, you know, I've been estranged from my father lied to me about being dead, and, you know, I kind of wanted to know I was back in town because it might spoil it, and, you know, reconcile with his father and stuff like that, which is probably true. You know, they have been, you know, distant for quite a while, so he's not lying about the, you know, them getting back connected and stuff like that, and, you know, taking so long, and now it's the perfect time because, you know, they're getting divorced and everything like that, and to be close to her, you know, his father. And Trina sympathized with that because of the whole, you know, Taggart faking like he was dead and coming back to life. So she was like, she was a little bit more sympathetic about the situation. But she wanted to make sure he wasn't lying about everything else, and, well, let's be honest, he is. But, you know, Trina was like, listen, you lied to me one more time, and not only will I just cut you off, I'll sit there and tell them what you've been up to this whole time. So they kind of come to an understanding, and I guess they're going to sit there and spend some more time together, because, well, let's be honest, Trina needs a boyfriend, and Spencer fills the bill. So, I just, you know, here's the thing. I just hope that, you know, Spencer don't start to have feelings for Jocelyn. Because the first time that this sort of happened a little bit with the whole Cam situation, she kind of let it go. Alright, she kind of more or less let it go. And then the Dev thing happened. And then Dev was into Jocelyn. And she let that go also. That's 2 men so far. That's 2 men. So, at this point, you know, if that happens, you know, and she was, you know, Jocelyn was saying before about, you know, let's not have a boy come between us. 3 strikes. That's kind of a game changer right there. So, I guess we'll just wait and see. I don't know why, but I know I'm missing something. I don't feel like a lot of things happen in this episode. I mean, you know, you had TJ, you had Molly, but then Nicholas came over, and their storylines was kind of more or less in line with Sean and Alexis, and Jordan, and Laura. And that's kind of half of the story right there. And then you had the whole Disney crew thing, you know, with Trina and Jocelyn and yada yada yada. And the only thing that was a little bit, well, only thing that was left was Liz and Finn, and to be honest, they didn't really do too much of anything. I mean, they talked about Peter, but they didn't really seem like they had any plans, so it was just like, we got to make sure that we keep out of trouble, you know, keep out of jail for Violet and our kids' sake, but yet they have no plan whatsoever, and, I know that Finn was there talking about a body bag and, you know, gurney and stuff like that, but I'm just like, what are you going to do about the cameras? What are you going to do about the camera? Were you just going to just break them? I guess they could do that at that point. I mean, it would be more it would make more sense to get Jason and get Spinelli in there, but you know, for some odd reason, and I can't blame Finn for not trusting Jason, but you can trust Elizabeth, and if Elizabeth trusts Jason, that's all you need to know. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I don't really feel like much else happened. I'm not gonna lie. I've been watching GH and I've been watching Days. GH is something I've been watching for about 20 years. Since high school. Since 2021. Alright, that is my show. I loved the majority of the cast compared to Days. But with that being said, Days was fire yesterday, and it's going to be fire today. And it's weird, because usually when I've been watching these shows back to back, it's like, yo, Jay's been killing it, and Dave's been like, alright, it's been cool, it's been interesting. But, like, now, it's like, and JH was on fire, especially with the whole Cyrus Renault thing. But then after that, it was just like, it's kind of quiet down a little bit, not really much happening. I mean, Spencer's back, but it's like, alright, he's back for revenge, and it's like, alright, you're back for revenge, but, like, this was, like, years ago, you know? And again, his whole revenge theme is so dumb. You're going after Ava, right? But the guy who shot your dad out a window, you're not man enough to go after him, but you're man enough to go after Ava and her child. Okay, yeah. Pretty dumb, not gonna lie, just kind of stupid. But, again, Trina needs a new boyfriend. Well, Trina needs a boyfriend, so, this way she doesn't have to feel like third wheel, so I guess this storyline works in some sort of way, even if it's just kind of dumb when you sit there and say it out loud. Anyway, with that being said, I think that's pretty much about it. If I missed anything, and I'm pretty sure I did, because I missed something yesterday. I'm not gonna lie, I missed something yesterday, and I was like, man, this episode was just so. And I'm not gonna lie, that's one of the things, and I know I keep saying this, I'm gonna cut it off, but that's one of the things that I do not like, when an episode is so-so. Because when an episode is so-so, then it makes my review so-so. And whenever I sit there, and I turn it off, and I upload it, I'm just like, man, was this review actually pretty good, or was it just like, And I'm laying in bed, I'm like, nope, it was the episode. Yep, it was the episode. Anyway, hopefully tomorrow should be a better episode than today. Hopefully. It wasn't bad. It really wasn't bad. Here's the thing. This episode wasn't bad. It was interesting. It's kind of middle of the road. It didn't suck, so that's something. Hopefully it starts to get into something good. I mean, I'm wondering when the backlash of, you know, like, I'm wondering what the repercussions is, you know, because Molly and TJ, you know, they're known, you know, as far as taking down Judge Carson or whatever, and she's not going to be happy with that. People in power want to stay in power, and when they don't get their way, things start to happen. So I'm wondering when are these repercussions going to start to happen, or if they're just going to forget about it like they did Hayden Barnes. I guess we'll just wait and see. With that being said, I'm going to go. I want to thank you for watching. Be safe. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. See you in the next video.